What is happening in the housing market? In this video, we're going to be going over 4 different topics. One, what the current housing market is telling us right now on houses on the market, what they've sold for. Second, projecting to 2025, what to expect if you're looking to jump into the housing market. Number 3, projecting on what the most affordable cities and upcoming cities are going to be for growing equity. And number 4, buying versus renting, understanding if rent is going to go up or if it's going to go down. So if you're someone who's interested in a video like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there below and the bell for notifications. My name is Jenny. I am with Real Brokerage, and I am here to serve you in teaching you all things about Utah and knowing when is the right time for you to make the decision for your next move. All coming up in this video. The number one question that I get as a real estate agent is, when is the right time to jump into the housing market, whether you're buying or whether you're selling? That is the monopoly of all questions. If you have those things working for you, then it is a perfect time for you to jump into the market. No one can predict what is going to happen. What we can do is look at what historically has been going on. In Utah, historically, the market has done very well. On what happened in 2008 always scares people. But moving forward, just to see, we have been on a correction scale point. If you look at the geographical maps on things, we've just been trying to get ourselves back on course from where we should have been if 2008 didn't happen. Now, I was pitching that story before COVID time. Then COVID time happened and the housing market went crazy because interest rates lowered due to a pandemic or the geographical needs of our nation. A lot of people jumped into the market. There were a lot of loans that were no down payments, easy slide in. Nowadays, a lot of people are saying that they couldn't even afford the home that they're living in if they had to buy it. Inflation has become a huge issue, and we have been trying to correct it. The interest rates have been needing to balance out, so they did spike up in the beginning years of 2022, and then they've started to try to be playing around. One thing that's interesting is the year 2024, which is the year I'm currently in for the next couple of weeks before the new year rolls in, is that it has been the slowest real estate year as far as number of houses sold. That meaning a lot of realtors have realized how hard this market can really be in the sales business. The real estate agents that have stayed in, who've pushed through, are the ones that you should be looking at and considering to hire, because they are really starting to understand the ebbs and flows of the market and how it works and fighting for your needs. Back in 2020, when there were so many multiple offers on their market, that strategy was very different than the strategy that I'm going to be using as a real estate agent moving forward into 2025. We are seeing a lot of projections of what is going to happen as far as stability in the interest rates, number of homes on the market, looking at the potential buyers that could afford the homes, and possible up and coming cities. So right now we have a lot of homes on the market. To give you an understanding of what I'm talking about is last year in 2023, there were 72,000 homes that were sold in the entirety state of Utah. Right now, we're currently sitting at 32,000 homes sold. That is a huge difference. Now, a lot of this sometimes doesn't take into account a lot of the new build if they did not put a sold number on the MLS. And in Utah, our new build is squeezing up to 50% of the mass need of the supply and the demand, which means 50% of the homes being sold are being new builds. We're seeing builders build everywhere. I have showcased them in other videos above with different types of builders walking through the showcases of the homes. And this is due to affordability demands, the supply and the demand issue, and gapping out on the land, especially over in Salt Lake County. We're starting to max out over there. So a lot of people are moving over to Utah County because there's more land potential over there. We're seeing a lot of high-rise buildings due to supporting the supply and demand issue. We are still thousands and hundreds of thousands of homes below the demand that we need, meaning there's more people standing in line wanting to buy a home than there are homes that are available. With that being said, we still are having a lot of influx of homes sitting on the market after the election year rolled out. In Utah, it is known to be a Republican state. Knowing that there's going to be a Republican president moving forward, it creates a lot of safety and security in those wanting to list their homes for sale in moving forward. So we're starting to see an influx of more homes go on the market. They're feeling more confident in the ability of stabilizing the interest rates, moving forward with the inflation correction, and with economics and politics. So 2025 in Utah is looking to be a really good year when it comes to real estate. We're starting to see the flat line of balancing out. Is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? Sellers can no longer ask for your firstborn child plus all of the money you could ever own in your lifetime, which is what the story was back in 2020 and 2021. We're now starting to see that there are still multiple offers on homes if the home is priced right, if it's in the right location. There are a lot of buyers out there that are interested, but that means it's really important that the realtors are pricing it right. Statistically, if you do not price your home right, you'll be on the market for a longer amount of time, and then you'll have to lower the price much lower than you originally listed the home for sale for because of the days on market. This is something that I pitch as a real estate agent when I see other people pick other realtors to list because they say we can make $10,000, $20,000 more than the realtor Jenny told you. That is because they want the listing. But then what happens is they end up having to be $30,000 below listing, and they just lost $10,000 because they choose not to hire somebody who's saying this is what the market is saying your home is worth. So don't get too greedy. I know a lot of times the sellers were getting really greedy in COVID time, thinking they could ask the world of these buyers. Well, buyers are now coming forward saying we can't give the world, the interest rates are too high, we can't qualify for the loans, and now it's starting to make more sense to rent a home than it is to buy a home. The reason why it's making more sense to rent a home versus buying a home for a lot of these first-time home buyers is it is cheaper to rent that home than it would be to try to buy that home in the real estate market. So they will rent the home for about $2,300 a month, whereas if that home was listed for sale, they would have to pay $3,200 a month to be able to live in that home. That is something we've been seeing across the board with a lot of things in Utah, where renting is cheaper than owning. Now, that's always been true, but it depends on who the owner is, which has been making it hard for investors to find properties that make it feasible to turn around and rent these properties with the right marketing number for renting. We did see renting flatline. Renting was going up like crazy. I own multiple rentals, and I could just easily start listing them higher and higher because they were renters who were wanting to come in. People are now starting to become a lot more stickler because the renting prices have flatlined. Not a lot of people are willing to pay you more money than what they feel like it was worth back in 2020. And now that the housing prices are starting to flatline a little bit more at the interest rates, hopefully we'll see more of an investing opportunity moving forward. Now, I'm going to be buying my first flip home. You guys, if you are interested in doing more investments and using a home equity line of credit, please let me know because I love teaching people those things. Right now is the perfect opportunity, knowing that the market's going to be stable, to start dipping into investment opportunities. Right now, the average price on market continues to rise. Now, statistically, we see about a 6 to 7% on an annual rate of equity or appreciation in a home. So housing prices this year are starting to sit around 630. With that being said, it does change between county to county for sure. So Salt Lake is sitting around the 620, but if you go to Utah County, the average sold price is 580. So more people are starting to see that Utah County is more affordable. When we take out the Wasatch County that has Park City in it, it definitely helps us balance out what's really happening with the residential areas. Because Park City is such a high rise of tourist area and you've got a lot of celebrities over there, you've got very high numbered value homes over there, and it kind of unbalances those areas. In fact, just to give you an idea, the Wasatch County average price sold between January and today, which I'm sitting in the middle of December, was $1.3 million. So that really tells you the difference of when you put in all of Utah, it changes the number on what that average price sold is going to be. Now, the average days on market, we're still seeing an average between 40 to 80 days on market. Now, if you are a new build, that might be longer just due to the time period of construction and then moving forward. Most of your new builds are going to be 6 to 9 months in from the finish of breaking ground to sitting at the closing table. I deal with people who are looking at new builds. Please hire a real estate agent if you are going to be doing a new build. These builders definitely know that there are a lot of people who don't understand what it means to buy a home, and unfortunately they will take advantage of it. Plus, you don't get any incentives by not using a realtor. They're not going to give you the realtor's commission and lower the price cut. They can't do that. It doesn't make sense for them to do that. So hire a realtor, because they're definitely going to fight for things like upgrades or incentives on closing fees, or negotiating fixes and changes that need to happen in the home, or possibly maybe getting more of a backyard or a different tree or some fencing. There's lots of different things real estate agents can do to try to work with the buyers. So make sure you hire somebody with the buyers. Now, Utah demographically has done really well with their job opportunities. We have a very low unemployment rate. It's at 4% right now. We have a lot of new companies moving in because they love the tax benefits of living in Utah. The governor has done really well at making sure we are friendly with our businesses. Lehigh City is a perfect example of that, with the Silicon Slopes and all the businesses that have come in and the infrastructures that have supported that city and the state that we live in for job opportunities. There are a lot of people that we're starting to see that move over to Utah due to the lifestyle and culture, because they can work remotely from home. They would prefer to live in Utah, where we have the low crime, we have good schools, we have family-oriented cities for schools and kids and parks and safetiness, and the recreational outdoors and the culture of it. They'd be able to escape to the mountains, be able to ski, be able to go down to the Red Rocks and to go hiking, to go to Moab, go to Zion's, go to the Grand Canyon or the Four Corners. We have Vegas, which is very, very close if you want the nightlife. So a lot of people are seeing that Utah is a great culture, a great place to live. The cost of living is still low, but we are definitely on our way to being more of a high populated state and more expensive in cost of living. The cost of living in Utah actually has continued to go up. The cost of living has gone up about 12% in Utah. I have gone over the cost of living in Utah if you're interested in that video above. But forecasting the best cities to start moving into based on a population increase. The reason why you should be interested in moving into an up-and-coming city is the potential that it has for the equity growth. So I live in a town called Eagle Mountain. Eagle Mountain has a lot of people living here, but we also have a lot of land and a lot of new build happening over here. We have a Walmart just being built. Saratoga Springs, which is 10 minutes away from us, was the best place to move into 5 years ago. We are now seeing tenfold of equity happening over there because the demand of people wanting to live in Saratoga Springs, because it's the neighboring city of Lehigh, which Lehigh was the upcoming city. So we're seeing a trend where Lehigh was the upcoming city, and then move out to the next city, Saratoga, then the next city is Eagle Mountain, and then who knows in 10 years what city it's going to be. But right now, Eagle Mountain is a city that people are paying attention to, along with the city Bluffdale. Now, I have done videos on both of those in the description down there below, on Eagle Mountain, on Bluffdale, and I've also done one on Saratoga versus Lehigh. So make sure to check out those videos as well. And understanding the demographic areas, if you're looking for an investment or if you're looking to buy for yourself, up-and-coming cities are going to be good for all of it. The only cons of living in an upcoming city is the tax potential increase when they need to do new infrastructures of roads, new schools, new government buildings, rec centers, libraries. Those are things to consider when you're dealing with an up-and-coming city, especially if those cities don't have that. If you're in cities where they're landlocked, they can't really build anymore, they've got all their infrastructures, taxes could be more beneficial over there, but typically they're more expensive still over there anyway. So I always like to live in upcoming cities because I see the potential of growth, of appreciation and equity in my properties. So if I were you in your shoes trying to make the decision on if I should jump into the housing market next year, please evaluate those first two things that I discussed in the beginning: lifestyle and finances. And if you have both those needs and it fits the par for you, let's get connected, let's chat and talk about your situation and what makes sense for you, because you really could be surprised on what you could do financially. There are a ton of loan options out there. For first-time home buyers, it's a little bit harder to get a no down payment assisted loan. I remember preaching that back in the days. Please take advantage of these. They've kind of gone away with them. Credit unions are a lot harder to get approved for them. Your interest rates have to balance out the difference of it, so it's hard to approve for that. But there are some out there. There are a lot of opportunities for investing loans if you want to try to balance out the numbers where the investment pays for the loan and then you can afford just a part of it. There's a lot of different things, and I work very closely with a lender who is capable of doing above and beyond of everything. Home equity line of credit, a second mortgage, if you're looking for an investment, a commercial loan, residential loan. I've got the people for you to communicate with, and they're getting the best rate that can be very competitive in those things. So I'm also very aware of those things. It's not my expertise, so I don't like to talk about it too much, but I love to talk to you in person to kind of go over your numbers and what could be interested for you. So guys, if you are interested in meeting, please click that link down there below. It's called the Calendly link. Get connected with me, set up a time, and we can talk through via chat, or just call me. I've got my phone number down there below. Until then, you guys, I will see you in my next video.